The easiest multiplication problems to solve involve multiples of 10. You only need to learn one simple trick, and you will be able to solve every equation that involves multiplying by a multiple of 10 instantly. To multiply any number by 10, simply add a 0 to the end of that number, because multiplication is just repeated addition. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. We know that 1 times 10 equals 10, but we can even see this pattern here where we have our number times 10. We just take that number and put a 0 at the end. Here, 2 times 10, which is equal to 10 plus 10, equals 20. And again, we see that pattern of we have our number 2, and we're multiplying it by 10, and so our answer is simply the 2 with a 0 at the end. 3 times 10 equals 10 plus 10 plus 10, which equals 30, and we can see again this pattern of the number that we're multiplying by 10. We simply take that number, the 3, and we add a 0 to the end. And this continues to work no matter what the number is that we're multiplying by 10. We can even look at these. For example, 6 times 10. We take the number 6 and we simply add a 0 to the end. 35 times 10. We take the 35 and we add a 0 to the end. 35 times 10 equals 350. 10 times 10. You know already that 10 times 10 equals 100, but you can see that this also works with this pattern. We take our 10 that we're multiplying by 10, and we simply add a 0 to the end. So 10 times 10 equals 100. To multiply a multiple of 10, simply count the number of zeros in the number that you are multiplying with, and then add that number of zeros to the end of the number. So now we're going to look at not just multiplying by 10, but multiplying by any multiples of 10. So to multiply a multiple of 10, you're simply going to count the number of zeros in the number you are multiplying with and add that number of zeros to the end of the number. Again, just because in a multiplication, we are really just adding repeatedly. So let's look at a few examples of that where we're multiplying by multiples of 10, not simply just by 10, but multiplying by 100, 1,000, even 1,000,000. So all we need to do with these is we take the number that we're multiplying by, and then we look at the multiple of 10 and count how many zeros are in that multiple of 10. So in 100 there are 2 zeros, which means I need to place 2 zeros after my 2. So 2 times 100 equals 200. In this case, with 3 times 1,000, I take my 3 and then I'm multiplying it by 1,000, so I count how many zeros are in the 1,000. There are 3 zeros, and so I'm going to place 3 zeros after the 3, and the answer is 3,000. Now in this case, I have 2 times 1,000,000, and the same pattern goes. I put my 2 here, and since 1,000,000 has 6 zeros at the end, we find the product by adding 6 zeros to 2. And we can see that our answer is 2,000,000.